Okay, I am back, hopefully. And this will be part 2 of building an app with SaaS Pegasus. As a reminder, in the last one, I set up a new Pegasus project and got the code base downloaded. And today I'm going to hopefully start building out the business logic on top of that code base. So this is a part where a lot of beginners get stuck when they first start using Pegasus or Django or anything. Is sort of like, okay, now what? I've got the scaffolding. What do I do next? So hopefully this will start to show you at least how I do that. And yeah, as a quick reminder, the thing that we are trying to do is we're trying to build a Slack archive, and so today I'm going to hopefully just kind of set up some of the data models that I'm hoping to use and put them into my Pegasus project, and then we'll kind of see how long that takes, how far we get, but that's my first plan. Let me close Spotify. So at a high level, I know that I want this product to import Slack conversations, essentially. And so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to just sort of flesh out the data models that will be involved in doing that. So I've done a little bit of prep work. I've kind of looked at the APIs that Slack provides for these data models for users, for messages, for conversations, and I've also downloaded just a historical export file from Slack, so you can they let you download these zip files with all your messages. And so I'm imagining that when someone uses this product, the first thing that they'll do is they'll download a zip file of their entire Slack history, all the public channels, and then they'll upload it to the product, and the product will sort of like ingest all their chat data. And then after that initial dump is done, hopefully we can connect up to the APIs and avoid having to do any manual steps after that. But for now, I'm going to kind of start with the zip file, the data models, and see where we go. So with that, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new app for these data models. And, Django has the manage.pystart app command. I don't usually use it. So I'm just going to put a new Python module in the Slack, in the apps folder here. So this is where Pegasus by default will put all your sort of Django apps. I'll add a models.py here as well. And I guess, let's see, I will also add it here. Probably at some point I will, this is my settings file. At some point I'll probably do this, apps.config thing. But for now I won't worry about that. Cool. So I know I'm going to have at least 3 data models, and the first is like a channel. So I could call that like a Slack channel, so Pegasus has this what is it, base team model, and the way that you use this base team model is all it does is it extends base model, which is also a Pegasus thing. Base model just has a created at and updated at on it, which I find is useful auditing type stuff that most models want. And then base team model just adds also a foreign key to a Pegasus team. And so usually any any data model that is going to live within the context of a team, I will extend this base team model. So we'll do that. And let's see. So this will be a Slack channel. And I won't put in fields for that just yet. The second one I'm going to have is a user, which is also a team model, and the last one is going to be a message. It is kind of redundant storing this stuff. So the first thing that I'll do is, so a message is going to be sent to a channel. Let's make sure. So that's going to be a model. That's going to be a foreign key to a Slack channel. Let's see, on delete equals models.cascade. This is a message, not a user. And then it's also going to be sent probably. So I mean, I'll actually just kind of look at the Slack API for how they do this. So user. So we'll say user sounds good, and yeah, it also has channel. So, and that'll be a foreign key to the user. So one thing that I kind of struggle with or waffle about is, so now the user, the channel, and the message all have this team object, and that's technically redundant. Like you would assume that if the channel belongs to the team and the user belongs to the team, then the message also belongs to the team. I usually just stick the team on everything, and it just simplifies working with the code. And the main downside is sort of just a little bit of extra, one extra column in the database. You could get into a funny situation where if you write your code incorrectly, then the message has one team, and the user is in a different team, and you have some sort of inconsistency or bug. You can also sort of add checks if you want to avoid that. But either way, I'm not gonna worry about it for now, and I'm just gonna have a team on everything, even though it's a little bit redundant with this message. And while we're doing the message, we can add the text. So models, the text fields. A text field is kind of just an unlimited char field. And we don't know how long these messages are going to be, so we'll do that. And then they have this TS thing. I don't like that name, so maybe I will just call it something else. Or, I'll call it a timestamp. And that's a datetime fields. Okay, so that's a message. There's probably some more stuff. Oh, and one thing I also am going to do is I'm going to just save the raw JSON as a JSON field. And so the JSON will be the entire API results. And this is redundant, but what it helps is if I decide that later on I needed this edited information, or there's probably some threading information somewhere in messages that I'm going to have to understand. So whenever I need that stuff, I'm not going to have to ask the user to upload their zip file again, because I got I reversioned my app, or I'm not going to scrape through all the APIs again. So I'm going to save the entire JSON of the message in this raw JSON file as a field, so I'd have access to it. And I'm going to do that for all of these actually, which immediately just sort of flips my my little spidey sense about if all these things, if these three models have the same field with the same name with the same purpose, is that something that should go into some sort of base class or mix in or something like that? I'm not going to worry about that for now. If at some point I start adding more functionality on top of that raw JSON field, maybe I'll extract that. But either way, I'll just leave it like that for now. So let's see what we're going to do. So for the user, right, so they'll have this team ID. So the team ID is actually presumably in the user and also in the channel. Maybe? I'm not sure. But probably, now that I think about it, I mean, I wonder if, so Slack has, I don't know if Slack has IDs for messages. It looks like it does have IDs for users, and it does have IDs for channels. So another sort of design decision to think about is whether I want to make the IDs the Slack IDs the primary keys, or whether I want to have my own primary keys and then use the Slack IDs as just sort of like a reference ID. Let's see, both decisions. Maybe I'll use the Slack IDs for now. So then my ID will become a care fields unique. Actually, I'm going to do this is primary key equals true. See if that works. And then, so the team ID, I don't think I'm going to store here. I think I'm going to actually add that to the team model. And so this is my Pegasus team. And so here I will say Slack team ID. And I'll make that a care field. And so that way I'll have the Slack team ID there. I'll use the Pegasus foreign key to go to my Slack channels. Curious if there's anyone there and if I should be reading a chat or something, but I'm so bad at live streaming that I don't know if it's worth worrying about that. Okay, so we have IDs, we have the raw JSON, we have the Slack ID, and for now I'll just stick like a couple other things. So looks like they have a name, which seems useful. For care fields, we have to set a max length, which I just realized I'm going to have to do in a few other places. This looks pretty short. I don't know. I don't worry too much about these max lengths. Maybe I should, but let's see, real name. I mean, Slack, they might document actually how long these things are allowed to be. String. Don't use this. Okay. Maybe I won't use that. What should I use instead? This fundamentally changed link is not, okay, I'm not going to read that block. Well, they're telling me not to use it, but this is a live coding demo, so I'll just use it for now and sort out the rest later. I don't know, real name looks a little bit better, although maybe it's profile that they want me to use. Regardless, mostly I just want to display something about their name I'm not going to worry about time zones, admins, is app user. I mean, eventually we'll want this avatar stuff, but let's not worry about it for now. We'll just use the JSON dump, and we'll stick in what we need as we need it. Oh, and I'm not even in the right model. And channels, let's see, also have a name. And let's see what else they have. Okay. Whatever. Name's probably good enough for now. Okay. So we have these models. Let's see. I'll try to create an admin file. And well, let's see. What errors am I getting? Okay, feels must define a max length attribute, Slack team ID, and Slack channel ID. So this needs to be this, and the other one was over here. Okay. And let's make migrations for those. So I only have one. So this is complaining because it's a non-null field, and I don't have. So maybe, maybe I'll actually just I'll make it nullable. I think probably people will. I don't know. I don't exactly know how the onboarding flow is going to work, but I'm guessing people will create their Pegasus account first and then link Slack, which means that when they first create their account, they'll have an empty team. So this actually should be nullable. And it didn't make migrations for the Slack app because it didn't have any, but now it did. And I can migrate. Cool. And now I will flesh out my admin, and I always forget the syntax for the admin, so I just copy and paste from another admin files, and then Slack channel admin equals admin dot model admin. I don't know. A lot of copy paste. All right, and let's see, did they show up? Cool. Okay, so if we wanted, we could poke around and start making some stuff in the admin. I'm not going to do that because what I want to do next is import the data. And so from here, I will, let's see. This bit went a little faster than I expected, so haven't done as much thought into how I will do the import, but let's wing it and see how it goes. So this is something that it's a chunk of code that I know is going to be quite critical. Also, a chunk of code that I probably, at least in the initial stage, will modify a lot and want to iterate on and sort of make sure I haven't broken anything. So maybe let's try TDD and see how that goes. So TDD is test-driven development for anybody who didn't know that. So with tests, so I usually do my tests like this instead of doing a test.py. That's one of the reasons I don't use start app, because I don't like test.py. I like putting my tests in this tests module. So I do that, and then let's see, test zip imports. Okay, and so I want to write a test that imports a zip code from a zip file and saves it to my Slack database. I do have the zip file, so I created this data. And actually, you know what I'll do just before I go down this path is, this is not a bad stopping point, so I'll just, I know what this UI looks like, and I can't believe that I still use it, but I don't like the git command line all that much, and here we are. So I'm just going to commit, let's see, I will commit this Teams thing, add Slack team ID to Teams model. I will commit this Slack app as like kind of a chunk. Not going to commit the tests. Add initial Slack data model app. I think that's all I need. I'm seeing this data folder where I had my Slack dump is showing up, so I'm going to add that to my git ignore. Data. And and I'm not going to commit the migrations right now. I do commit my migrations to the repo, but actually, you know what I am going to do is I'm going to commit these migrations because I don't expect to make a lot more changes to these models. But I'm not going to commit my Slack migrations yet, just because I know I'm going to be iterating on these data models a lot, and I find it's easier to just delete the migrations and rerun and fake them, rather than doing squashing stuff that I've never actually taught myself. So I'm happy with how this looks, and now we can go back to our tests. And that was in here. Right. So let's see. And again, like, you know, the way that I write, or the way that I just like get my initial test scaffolding is I just like copy and paste from some other test because it's easier than, this is probably an area where like if I had, what is it? Copilot, this would be happy, but test zip imports. I don't know if I need a test. Test import. And usually what I do is I'll just do like the test ran. Like I just want to see that I have everything set up properly. So we can do, I'm going to make this bigger. Oh, it's too big. There's a pilot test apps.slack. much slower than I expected it to be. Oh, it's probably because I'm streaming. Yeah, cool. And so usually what I do when I'm doing like a TDP thing is this is like a command that comes in the Pegasus README. But so you can do something like this. And hopefully this will be like a little watcher, which will run my test, and then when I make any changes, it will just kind of keep running it in a loop. I can't believe how slow that is. Let's see if there's anything. Oh yeah, it's my streaming. OBS is my streaming thing, so I don't know. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so let's see. So we're gonna open a zip file. Let's see here. This is like where I've started enjoying this. So like ChatGPT 3. Can you write some code to open a zip file and extract the actually and that's actually not even what I wanted to do, but I'll give it that also. Okay. Interesting. Rather than mess with zip files, actually, maybe I have a better idea, because I don't think that'll be that fun to watch me do. We'll do like test import users, test import channels, test import messages, and then like I've already got these like sample data files, including like this channels.json and users.json. So I'm going to, and like usually when I have tests that depend on data, I stick a data folder inside my test folder. Test data, whatever. So we want the channels, and we want, well, maybe I should have copied those instead of copy these and those. Okay. Channels, users. Okay, so let's start with the users, with open, let's see, there's like a new, let's see like my old habits, but let's see, so we want this base stir, the type of thing. So I think we want, let's see. Oops. Let's see. There. Another dirty secret, I do a lot of debugging with print statements. Open. Actually, why don't we call it data dir, and then we can say data, and then with open data dir users.json f. user JSON equals f dot read. Okay, let's see if that is working. This is usually much faster. It's almost like unusably slow. Let's take this opportunity to not a directory test. Oh, okay, because it did that. So probably need a dot parent somewhere. Dot parent. Let's see if anybody's here. One. All right. Oh well. Yeah. So this did print out our JSON, which is good. Could probably do a JSON dot load. This. Okay, and then we'll say import users from JSON. That doesn't exist, so we will do. You call this the zip importer. Import. I'm gonna call it import users from JSON, and then JSON, which is list. It's a list of dicks, I suppose. But sure. Let's print that again for now. And then so our test, let's see. So here we have me. We have some bot that I have added to my workspace. I'll just add another bot that I added. Just deleting some of them. We have Rowena. I'll keep her. Emoji is another bot. This workspace is literally all I use it for is to talk to my wife. So it's just bots. Okay. So it's just me and Rowena. Okay. So now we'll do something like I'll just write the rest of the test. Let's just stop running these because they're just causing noise. And then we'll do self.assert equal to here. Just realize we're also going to have to initialize the team and stuff. This is why live coding isn't fun to watch or do. Just kidding. Okay. Import users from JSON. So this is gonna get these thingies and is gonna turn them to Slack user objects. So for user dict in user JSON. I guess we'll import a user from JSON. Why not? And so here we'll say like the name. Actually, we'll just say Slack user dot objects. Good. I usually do these like update or create type things. I guess for now, yeah, why don't we do update or create? Update or create. Is that the right thing? Yeah. That again. Defaults, quarks. So, and the ID will be equal to user dict ID. We're gonna need a team, which probably just is a first class argument to here. So let's just make that explicit. Oops. I'm just not sure what I'm trying to do. Okay. And so this is team. This team. So those are the important values, and then defaults equals, and then let's see, what else do we have on here? ID, name, so name, dict, name, and raw JSON. User dict. Okay. Now we do need a team back in our test. So it's like a class method type of thing. So CLS team equals team dot objects creates and this like equals import test name import test, and now we have self.team down here. All right, let's see how this is doing. Whoops. Yay, test passed. So, so we can do the channels now. Should be relatively, well, it's the exact same. I'm gonna open the channels. Channel, import channels from the channel JSON. basically going to have the exact same thing. Channels from JSON. And this will do something like Okay, so let's see what else is in our channels. So we have a random, we have a general. Oh, that's all we have. Perfect. So ID, channel name. It's like literally the exact same code, but I'm not going to combine them because they're definitely going to change as we add more fields. This needs an import. This needs an import. Let's see how that's going. Gives us the urge to check if anybody's here. It worked. Alrighty. Messages. So messages will be a little more fun because for a number of reasons, but one of those reasons is that we'll have to do some foreign key stuff. So messages. So how does this work? Okay, so messages are more annoying. They, in the zip folder, they come with what looks like to be a series of JSON files with date stamps. Not a lot of useful stuff in here. Okay, well, I guess we'll just do one of these. Just trying to think about how much. It's annoying in that, like the link between this particular file doesn't have a channel ID. The channel is sort of like implicit in the folder name in the zip file, which is kind of lame. So that's like a thing I'm gonna have to figure out. And it's probably gonna take too long to do right now. So maybe I'll wrap it there. And for kicks, we could actually. I'm not gonna commit this because I want to clean up. I want to make sure that there's no like email addresses or anything in that user.json file. So yeah, that seems like as good a place to stop as any. Hopefully in the next one, I may do some work offline just to sort out this zip file directory business. It just doesn't seem like a fun little thing to have someone watch me do. But hopefully that was at least somewhat interesting. And yeah, let me check again if anybody's here to say bye to. Does not look like it. Alrighty. Well, I'll see you next time.